Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 2 of Dead Space. My name is Winter, and as you can see the chapter is called Intensive Care, and I like that it gives you a layout of the ship and shows you where you're going and where you're coming from. And you saw the pixelation of the shadows there. If not, go ahead and rewind it. Shadows seem to be something tricky for developers. I've noticed that little pixelation effect on them in PlayStation 4 games. I believe it was... Oh, actually, yeah, it was. It was TR 2013 as well as MGS 5, both Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain. And I'm not a developer, so I can only speculate, but it is interesting how shadows always result in a pixelation of sorts when they're done in that particular style.
It's all right, McCoy. He's here. Nothing to be afraid of. I knew you would come. Just like you said. I saved this for you. Can I go now? McCoy wants to take me.
Use Kinesis to move or throw objects.
Well, he wanted to get her to the shuttle, so we'd better get them to the shuttle, huh? Of course, here's our Stasis, introduced for the first time. A very cool concept and idea. In fact, I'm a really big fan of it. I think it's just awesome. Just picking up whatever and throwing it around a little bit. Let me get these two positioned in their proper seating arrangements, and then we'll move on. There you go. Be sure to buckle your seatbelt, dear. It could get a little bit bumpy on the way. Of course, Stasis. Pick up objects that are obstructing the path and throw them around. You can also damage enemies, though I don't think it's very effective in this particular game. I know in Dead Space 2, much like a couple of other things, and like all good sequels,
You have schematics to add items to the store.
there's a flamethrower schematic, blueprint for new weapon. I like that that's how you acquire some of your weapons. But anyways, as I was saying, much like any good sequel, Dead Space 2 took the idea of the Stasis and a couple of other ideas that were introduced in Dead Space 1 and embellished them and made them not only more effective, but sort of make sense in a way. It's tricky to explain without actually showing anything from Dead Space 2. So I'll hold off on going too in-depth on that until we actually get to that game. Which, for the record, will probably not be the next particular series after this one wraps up. I say probably, but again, the risk always lives. You never know. So I guess I'll just say maybe. But yeah, probably not.
Are you there? We were attacked. Kendra's gone. 1 minute she was there, and I can't believe I lost her. We can still do this. Get me the captain's rig codes, and we'll find Nicole. Looks like the crew barricaded the door to the emergency wing. We have to blow through it to get to the morgue. Get some thermite from medical storage, and a shock pad from zero-G therapy. Should be down the corridor. Communication is useless in all this static.
So we're looking for the captain's body, which if you saw Dead Space Downfall, which I want to say that's the first movie, you'll know that he was voiced by Jim Cummings because it's an animated game. And Jim Cummings is, of course, for a lot of people, Darkwing Duck. But for myself, he's not only Darkwing Duck, but he's also Totec from Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light.
Weapons have an alternate firing mode.
So we're looking for Captain Totec's body. Where would you be without science? Wait. See the flies buzzing around? And the pixelation of the shadows? The flies are, again, a nice little detail. They'd be there, you know? Of course, if anybody's paid attention to the channel for a while or done some video searching, you saw the video Dread Space, which was this particular sequence set to different music. And what I was trying to do with that video is just kind of show how the experience would be different for a lot of games with a different soundtrack. And just kind of, it's interesting to me to see a certain established setting in a game with an entirely different soundtrack, just to kind of show how important each piece of the puzzle is for a game. And it was also me just kind of tinkering around with some software, and that was the result. Always reload after firing a couple of shots, because you just never know when you're going to need that one bullet. Especially in this game where some of the weapons are fairly cumbersome to reload. Not really a pain in the ass, but they definitely take their time every now and again. But thankfully at the workbenches with power nodes you can upgrade that speed to pretty much 1 second, where something would have previously taken about 6 seconds. So that's a nice addition. So when you're surrounded by enemies, like it's very easy to get in this game in a few spots, this being one of them, you know, your reload speed could be the difference between life and death. So that's cool. Not sure how much of an emphasis I'd put on it in terms of overall importance, but it's just a cool little touch. Sorry, wrong button. Oh my goodness. Of course, that's a fairly, well, not fairly, but a bit stronger variant of the common slasher necromorph, as they're known. There's 3 different types in this game. Oh, Jesus. Always mind your surroundings. But I believe it's a decent example of shit. Well, it's not a decent example of shit, but a decent example of how the difficulty ramps up after a while. Here's one of the things you can do with the Kinesis. You can pick up the little spear, or little spear, what the fuck? The little blade, the sharp edge object. And it does a slight amount of damage. Dead Space 2, the damage is increased that it'll do, and in fact it's entirely possible to outright kill enemies by impaling them with something sharp such as that, and sticking them to walls is pretty fucking cool. I think that might have gotten shown off in the Dead Space Severed 2-part series that I did. Shameless plug. Toot my own whore there for a moment.
What in God's name is going on down there?
I think that's precisely the
If I
point,
can get
Doctor.
that bigger for y'all.
God's work.
I'm not so sure of that. We have to assume that the colony's problems are somehow connected to the marker.
You can assume all you want to. I do not. The marker is glorious and divine. You know that.
God moves in mysterious ways.
Anyway, we'll have it on board tomorrow. You can analyze it all you want to. What are you so worried about?
Worried? Captain, people are dying down there, killing each other. Is this madness, the transformation Unitology teaches us?
Doctor. Terrence. There will always be risk when the stakes are high. And here, they're enormous. It could change everything.
And that's what worries me.
Unitology introduced for the first time, which which I think is one of the bigger strengths to Dead Space, is the Unitology aspect and bringing religion into it. It definitely makes a real world sense because, you know, you can picture something like that going to extreme. God knows there have been plenty of examples in the real world, or plenty of instances in the real world where religions have gone to extremes, but that is something I really don't want to get into. That's a separate video series, totally unrelated to video games, that I will never touch on on my channel as long as I have my way. So let's read this. Vid logs from the colony are poor quality, but the artifact doesn't appear to be a genuine marker. The first to be found in Unitology's 200-year history. The Doctor is eager to get it on board the ship so they can study it. The potential is enormous, not just for him personally, but it's true he's dreamed of such a discovery for decades. But it's also good for humanity and the Church of Unitology in particular. The marker could herald the dawn of a new age for mankind, and he'll do his part to ensure that it comes to pass. He knows the Church will be grateful, but the true recognition will come from all of humanity. On this day, we are blessed. Very cool. There's a little bit of foreshadowing as to what he's talking about there. A little mini marker. Which is the only reason to pick up the collector's edition of Dead Space 3, as far as I'm concerned. It's well worth the price. Mine is actually sitting next to my television set. Pretty well detailed, too. It was a good buy. Fucking expensive, though. You know, Dead Space merch, since it's so rare nowadays, it's pretty goddamn expensive to get some stuff. You know, the action figures that came out from NECA, if you want an Isaac Clarke, man, the ones I've seen go for over $100. And the Necromorphs are like $80.
Come on! Let me out!
Oh, that's badass. See, how can you not like this game? But yeah, the merch. I've got a fairly decent collection. I've mainly got Tomb Raider stuff, as that's been a favorite series of mine for going on a few years now. I don't have a decent sized comparison of collection. You know, I mean, there's people that have made the Guinness Book of World Records for their stuff, and I never will. Shit. But for my budget, I've got a decent sized collection, I would like to think. There are people that have bigger, though. You know, I just don't always have the money to buy the stuff. It's fucking expensive, even when it comes out nowadays. You know, it's just ungodly expensive. Like, if you look at the Rise of the Tomb Raider Play Arts Kai figure, I mean, fuck, that is literally double the cost of the one that was made for TR 2013. What the fuck? How are people supposed to afford that? But people will pay it. You know, there's going to be those collectors that just absolutely shit their britches when they see a new figure announced, and they'll break the bank to buy it. And it's a shame. You know, it's just, it sucks that the merch and the collector's items for this stuff are so expensive. But you could also argue, well, that's why they're for collectors. And why they've got that word in their, you know, title. And I can't really disagree that point. I mean, it's accurate, you know? It's hard to argue it.
Alright, that thermite you picked up should be able to melt through the barricade. Use the shock pad to ignite it. Hope I can hold this position. I can hear something big moving out there.
You know, I can't get that ammo right there. I was hoping not to have to backtrack in this particular area. What have I got? Got a conductor I can sell, and I can shift a few things around to the safe. So, we'll be coming back here in a moment. Ah, damn it, missed it. There we are. There we are. I hear it. Oh. I was going to take him on with melee, but since there's that other one right behind him. I'll just wait. Oh, now I can go and pick up that ammo that I couldn't carry previously. Hey, those guys helped me out. Look at that. Save us a little bit on the backtracking. And again, I don't mind the backtracking in this game. And I'm kind of curious how much the story affected the backtracking or vice versa. Because it used to be that backtracking in a game meant that developers were just trying to lengthen out the game and really give people what they thought was an adequate amount of gameplay time for the money they spent. At least that's my perception on it. I could be wrong. Nowadays, it seems like it's just an unnecessary annoyance. But Dead Space, the way it handles it, it's actually fairly crucial to the story. And I'm kind of curious if the story was written first with backtracking in mind, or if the backtracking came first and then that was implemented into the story. It would be nice to, well, it wouldn't be nice, but it would be kind of cool to find out the answer to that. There's a few making of documentaries that are available. They're probably on YouTube. I haven't looked for them. But I know on the PlayStation Network you can download 4 parts of a 5-part series that is just about the making of Dead Space and nothing else. Episode 4 is missing, but it covers things like developing the story. Doesn't really go too in depth. I mean, they're only about 5 minutes long each. And I think if you want to go in depth on something like this, or mainly any game nowadays, you know, you need about at least 45 minutes to really explain everything, as well as satiate people's curiosities. I know I have loads of them, and I don't want to say I was unsatisfied with the documentaries that are available for this, the ones that I've seen anyways, but again, they're only 5 minutes long. You know, I would love something that is, you know, if you're going to have multiple episodes, do about 45 minutes each and really go in deep. You know, because I'm fascinated by this medium. I like hearing about why the developers make choices that they make. I like hearing about what influenced what, and how this was tweaked with to complement that. I mean, I just absolutely am fascinated by game design. So, yeah, they're kind of a letdown for me, but they're still interesting nonetheless. Much more so than the Sounds of Dead Space documentary, which, shameless plug, you can view on this channel. At least as of this recording. I don't know, maybe it's been removed by the time you're watching it. I don't know. And the backtracking is also fairly interesting in that, you know, there's enemies don't respawn, but they will get replaced. And that happens whenever you have to backtrack. We'll come back for that text log in a moment, because I think we could have an enemy encounter. Here's something that I really enjoyed. The doors that are locked and require a power node to open. You always want to at least keep one power node on you at all times, because if I remember correctly, every level has one of these doors, and there's usually some goodies behind them. this case, it's ammo and a large med pack. The large med pack will definitely come in handy. And a gold semiconductor, so there's some more credits. Audio log, let's take a listen.
You found something down there, didn't you?
Yes, we found something.
So the texts were right all this time.
I wouldn't be certain of that. There was nothing divine in what I saw.
We must embrace this. We are the first witnesses.
Matthias isn't letting anyone down in the colony. It's under quarantine until we learn more.
To hell with Matthias. He of all people should know that this is greater than him, or the operation, or even the company. This is our deliverance.
Keep your damn voice down. People are dying down there.
Only the worthless and the unbelievers. But I believe. Do you believe, Terrence? Do you?
Of course, religious fanatics getting all fanatical. I really should drop something else so that I can clear up the inventory. We'll see what we can do with what open slots I've got. Hopefully that'll be enough. But I'm a fan of how the story unfolds as well. I think it's cool how you're able to piece together events by text logs or audio logs, video logs. Alright, Harris is asleep and under another strong sedative. He seems unable to sleep without chemical aid. Most people succumb to exhaustion after 50 plus hours of waking, regardless of any desire to stay awake, but not Harris. His explanation of events on the colony is also odd, and points to the same paranoia we've seen elsewhere planetside. His guilt is no doubt his guilt is not in doubt. 2 planetside security officers were present when he took Dr. Sorrell hostage and murdered Nurse Evans, and he doesn't deny his action. It happens in Dead Space Extraction, so this is interesting for me to read for the first time. But he insists there was no crime, nor does he feel guilt. It's a classic sociopathic behavior. But Harris exhibits no other symptoms. He is affable and friendly, able to empathize, and offer original opinions. When questioned about the murder, he becomes withdrawn and intransigent. Probably said that wrong. Displaying schizophrenic behavior, he also undergoes intermittent hallucinatory periods, again similar to those experienced by other colonists. Claims he threatened the doctor because he had to stop the dreams and faces, and that he'll kill again to make it whole again. What that means, he hasn't determined yet. It's a most interesting case. And that is from Dr. Warwick. Yes, that was a fascinating one to read. There we are, a little bit of hit point boost now. I feel stronger now. See the spinal... what would you call that? The spinal HUD? Yeah, we'll go with that. The spinal HUD has an extra bar on it now. There's something around here. I sense a presence. Something I've not felt since... Oh, good lord. Exactly why I hate those guys, man. That flying around shit, that'll get you. Tough little buggers, too. Where am I going? I want to go in here. Let's see what we got in here. Oh. Another node. melee works. It works. And it looks like a schematic of some kind. Pulse rounds, which is the machine gun of the game. Go ahead and drop that off and clear up another inventory spot. Might drop a first aid kit off as well. Doing fairly well in terms of damage. I was expecting a lot worse. Man, I'm just dragging that body everywhere, huh? Evacuate this area immediately. Must have been important. If you're gonna say it right, you say it twice. Okay, dropped off the schematic. What else can I get rid of here? Probably line racks. Now let me see what I can do with that last node before we go too much further. How many have I got? I think I got 2. Yeah, I got 2. I'm going to use one more because, like I said earlier, it's always best to keep at least one on you at all times. So just use one more up, see what we got in terms of weaponry. Line gun, I can go for damage on that, or the plasma cutter. Kinesis, oh, well, you can go the whole game without upgrading that as well. You know, I'm going to be using the plasma cutter for a while, so I'll go ahead and add a damage spot. Raise that up a little bit. A lot of people say it's the best weapon in the game, and it's pretty damn good, especially once you get it fully upgraded. But for me, I'm more of a line gun guy. So I'm not using that now because I would like to save ammunition for it for later on. Oh, where is it? There it is. There we go. Melee when you can, folks. Melee when you can. Get them backed in the corner and just whack the shit out of them. And get a small med pack as a reward. Nice, nice. Alright. So up here is kind of a glitch area where you can exploit up to 250,000 credits, I believe. There's 2 areas in the whole game where you can exploit credits, and one of them will give you 250 grand and the other one will give you 500 grand. But that takes a long time, and I'm not going to be doing that this playthrough. I've done it once, and my god, you want to talk about monotonous.
Your air meter will appear when you are in a vacuum.
Of course, the awesome sound design, having everything muted when you're in space or in the vacuum. Very cool. I thought there was something out there that I needed. Oh, right there. There's another one, so I'm going to refill air real quick. I love the sound design of the zero-G areas. It's very cool. I don't know why. That's just such an awesome thing to me. And the repressurization, like it's a, you know, an underwater submarine. Somewhere around here, there's 10,000 credits that are normally floating in this area that you can pick up and exploit to just keep respawning. But I'm not seeing them for some reason. Where the hell are they? They should have been right here. It's very bizarre that they're not there now.
As you know, Yoshimura is able to set his gravity locally. Your grav boots will kick in when you enter a zero-G area.
I'm gonna take another look. They should be out there. Looking for something shiny. Kind of glinting. Not seeing it though. Very strange. Very strange. I don't think they float by like the rest of the debris. I think they just kind of hang out in one spot, but that's actually kind of crucial. I was really wanting those credits because they always come in handy. It's very bizarre that they're not here. In fact, I'll call that a glitch because they have always been there. So, a little strange. Zero gravity.
Your ammo counter will flash red if you can't jump to a surface.
Here we go. I like these sequences too. I think these are done very well. Go flying around, just causing havoc in zero-G. Again, one of the things that was embellished upon in the second one was kind of absent in the third one, if I remember right, but could be remembering it wrong. It's been even longer since I've played the third one, so who knows? I probably am forgetting. But at any rate,
Exiting zero gravity.
can't get in there.
Great. You got a shock pad. Combine that with the thermite at the barricade to destroy it. Shit. I can hear more coming. Moving through the vents. Stay safe, Isaac.
Look at this dude. Oh, that's a body, not an enemy. We're gonna get out of here without taking any damage. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Come on, door. Oh, god damn it.
Exiting zero gravity.
Almost made it. That wasn't so bad, though.
Entering vacuum.
You hear the muffled gunshots. Very cool. Great sound design.
Exiting vacuum.
Wow, I didn't even hit the door to open it. Did I? Not to quote Urkel, but did I do that? I see him. Hopefully there's not one coming up behind me. Oh, and there is. Was there? No. Okay, I just hit the little stand. Again, I can't really hear what's going on too well. Maybe I should try and turn that up a little bit, huh? Oh. Yeah, is that all you got? Let's get the fuck out of here. Always anticipate those guys around any corner in this game. They don't look like much, but they'll do quite a bit of damage fast. So there's what, 3 different types of enemies that are introduced in this level? Shit. God damn it. They're always in a swarm. I hear one more. Maybe more than one, but I definitely hear another one. Just barely. Let's see if we can get away from it. Okay, maybe I was imagining things. So here we are. Let's drop the thermite and light the fire. Whoa! Good and bright. Anything that I can get rid of? Yes. A couple of things. There we are. Now I can grab another node. Alright. I always get rid of the air cans. You can pretty much get through any...
Okay, you're through. Should be clear from there to the morgue. Remember, the codes are on the captain's body.
This is Senior Medical Officer Nicole Brennan transmitting ship-wide. We need more help. We don't have the resources to deal with this many cases. Nobody would tell us what's happening. These wounds, we are not equipped to deal with this. Get him to the table. Hold him. Nurse, you hold him down. And record him.
That was Nicole, right? I can't tell from here when that log was made. I'm sure she's around here somewhere.
I'm sorry, I was listening to those and I totally forgot what I was talking about right before I picked that up. I do apologize for that. Oh yeah, the air. That's not necessarily a need to have upgrade. And in fact, there's quite a few... Well, not quite a few, but there's 2 cheat codes. Actual button input cheat codes. And this is probably the only game that I can think of off the top of my head to come out since 2008 and actually have button input cheat codes. And what they do is they'll refill your stasis and they refill your air. So it is entirely possible, as far as I'm concerned and can tell, to beat the game without fully upgrading the air and without picking up any stasis refills. But I'm not going to be using those in this series. At least if I have my way. Who knows, I could hit a tough spot later on. Again, never say never, just say maybe. But as of now, the plan is to not use them. Big damn batteries. But it's very convenient that it goes right next to the door that it needs to unlock. And just like there's refill stations for stasis, there's refill stations for oxygen. A little bit of foreshadowing there by that. And that's another thing Dead Space does well, is the foreshadowing. It's not always easy to piece together what's coming up, but if you just kind of pay attention and look at your surroundings, it's actually very possible. And that's another thing that not a lot of people do well. Come on. Open up. There we go. And every enemy has weak spots if you can't tell by that. Some are more cleverly disguised than others. Yeah, home run. Oh, shit. Missed it. Oh, my goodness. Let me reassess this situation real quick. There we are. Anything else? No. Alright. So yeah, another node room. All kinds of goodies on the inside, as well as a schematic. What do we got? Line racks. That's ammo for our line guns. We absolutely need that, because we cannot buy the ammo without the schematic for it, which again is a nice touch. It really adds to the element of, oh shit, I'm fucked because I didn't find this. I don't think there's any more items in between here and where we're going, but go back to the store and drop some shit off. I just don't feel confident in saying that we'll get by the rest of the level with 2 slots. I think we'd have to do some backtracking at some point, so we'll minimize it right now and kind of get it out of the way before it becomes an issue. Just kind of nip that shit in the bud. That's the thinking anyways. Well, who knows? I'm probably screwing myself by doing it this way. What the fuck was that? Broken cables and shit. Alright. Drop some shit off. Clear out some spots. Got quite a few line racks. I think I feel confident in saying I can move some of those. What's that do for us? Yeah, that's pretty damn good. And here's another way how you manage your resources fairly well, I think. Anyways, maybe someone else has got a better method, but instead of using up one of those stasis packs, just find your local refill station, hit it up, because they refresh, they're infinite. You know, you just gotta wait some time in between uses is all. I don't know, I'm not claiming to be an expert on Dead Space, you know, in terms of playing it and knowing about the lore and shit like that. I'm just a fan, you know, and I've got my own little theories and perspectives and things that I think are cool, and you know, it's just how I interpret them, and it's how I play the games and shit like that. You know, it's just me. So don't take anything that I say or do in the game as a be-all, end-all. You know, there's several different ways to play the game, several different ways you can interpret the mythology and the story and things like that, and then this is just mine. So take that for what it's worth. At face value, at the least, you know. I like how you can just pick up random shit, like the IV, the fucking microscope. What have we got here? Audio log.
Hello? Can anybody hear me? My name is Eileen Fisk. I just woke up in here and everybody was gone. I don't know what's happening. Why did they all leave? I'm going to try and find someone. If you can hear this, please come for me. I can hear scratching in the wall. Hello? Who's there? Are you a doctor? Why is everyone... Wait, I know you. You're Harris, the prisoner from the colony. You killed that nurse. Help! Somebody help me! Please! Please!
So Harris gets a story payoff other than just that text log. What do we got here? Newborns. List of baby names. Why is that moving around? Look at that. The invisible man. The invisible patient, as it were. Okay. So we've got credits not appearing where they should be, and an IV drip that's got a mind of its own. I don't want to call it Glitch City or Bug City yet, but... Ah, damn it, and I was trying to avoid that. Shit. Because they gang up on you here. Ah, damn it. Ah, you motherfuckers. Was it even worth taking the hit and using the ammo? No, not really. That's why I was trying to get shit with Kinesis and not worry about actually having to physically go down there. I just got too close to the vent. God damn it. That's cool. It really does have quite a bit to offer if you're a fan of things of a dark and disturbing nature, I think. Text log. What do we got? Science log from Dr. Kine. Benjamin. Further to the previous conversation, he asked that he delays bringing the marker up from the planet for a day or two. He's as keen as anyone to study it in detail and understands a sense of urgency given the events of the colony. That's why he asks, what's happening down there is just too unique, too unprecedented, to cut it short without proper time to study the cause and effects. In light of a discussion he had with Dr. Mercer, he'd also like to meet with Dr. Cirilio and Dr. Welland planetside to get their observations. So that's cool too. And you know, maybe it's getting boring listening to me read the text logs, but again, I never got to read them before. The television I had before what I'm currently on now was just too fucking small.
Science Log Chief Science Officer Dr. Kine reporting. The colony's problems concern me greatly. I have no doubt they are somehow linked to the discovery of the marker, but the exact nature of that connection is still unknown. Almost 40% of the colonists are experiencing a form of dementia. The obvious symptoms are acute depression, insomnia, and hallucination. Incidents of violence and even murder also indicate extreme paranoia. Dr. Mercer has advised that I bring some of the affected on board for study. Dr. Welland, the planet-side psychiatrist, has reported that his own analysis has been fruitless. I'm hesitant to rely on Dr. Mercer at this point, but I need his expertise. We need solutions, and we need them quickly.
So somebody tried doing something, at least, in terms of prevention. There we go. What was that? 4 shots? Not bad. Not bad, Winter. Not bad. Okay, we should be getting close to Captain Totek's body now. Of course, if you saw the Dead Space Downfall movie, then you got to see the events, what happened on board the ship firsthand. And the movie came out, you know, after the game, so it's not like this is based on the game or on the movie. Got that. Is there anything in any of the corpse lockers? Anyways, there's Captain Totek's body there on the gurney, the table. You see he's got something in his eye. Birth of a necromorph. Jesus, still going. Look at that. Ah. Alright, get out of there. Get out of there. There we are. There's the MacGuffin. Well, the MacGuffin for this level.
It's received, and they look good. Thank God. I'll start accessing the captain's records right now. Head to the tram station, and I'll contact you there. I'm going to find out what the hell happened to this ship.
Another node will come in handy. Here we are. Oh no, that's not the deciphering key. There you see some of the Unitology scrawlings on the wall. Bloody handprints. I'd like to know what they read out as, what they translate to. There's an app for your phones. I have an S5, a Samsung S5, and it's available for that. But you can get a Unitology teaching app, which will teach you how to read the stuff. I just haven't really spent a whole lot of time with it. Plus, I got it about 2 years ago, and then just kind of forgot about it. Alright, so it is the doctor's sad duty to officially pronounce Captain Totek dead. Reports that the exact circumstances are conflicted and beyond the scope of his role. He can only report on the body. Captain Totek was in generally good health for his age, though a cursory blood test indicates leukocyte count was very low, with something I'm not even going to try to pronounce, in particular almost non-existent. His pre-flight physical exam showed no problems, blah blah blah. So what happened to cause his death? Multiple contusions on the arms and hands, indicating a brief struggle pre-mortem. Slight contusion around the rib cage, suggesting his chest was restrained in some way. Cause of death was a single prolonged trauma to the ocular body, which is your eyeballs, which continued on through the cavity wall and finally into the frontal lobe, causing rapid neurotrauma, seizure, and death. The force required to puncture the ocular cavity in this manner is great, and the possibility of self-inflicting correspondingly is low. Therefore, he has no alternative but to record a preliminary verdict of unlawful death, whether deliberate or accidental. And again, if you saw the movie, then you saw exactly what happened to Captain Totek. And it was pretty cool. It was actually my favorite scene from the movie. Yeah, you know, it wasn't a bad movie. It's just I'm not that big of a fan of anime. And it is an animated movie. It's not live action, you know. It's not drawn in the traditional anime style. You know, it's not like an Akira or a Sailor Moon or anything like that. It's got a decent visual look to it. I don't know, I'm just not one for animated movies. A little bit tougher than the regular necromorphs, huh? The difficulty curve is rearing. Let's get out of here.
Isaac. Somehow one of them found a way down to the captain's nest. I managed to contain it in a damaged escape pod. Lifting executive lockdown now. I found the deck logs. Whatever is happening around here, it came from the planet when they cracked it open. It spread to the colony and reached the ship. Isaac, this isn't an infection. It's some form of alien life. Shit, we've got bigger problems. The ship's engines are offline and our orbit is decaying. Get over to the engineering deck ASAP while I stay here and figure out what the problem is.
That's not good. Not good. Essentially, what that means is we're going to crash into the planet here pretty quick. So we've got to stop that. Here's my safe. What have I got that I can take out of here? I can move a couple of small med packs and a medium. And I can buy another node. And since we can purchase another node, where am I going? Right here. Ooh, what's that? That's ammo. How did I not see that earlier? Yeah, that's enough. That'll work. We'll go down here, use a node, then finish off the level and call it an episode. Where we at? We're just under an hour, about 56 minutes, something like that. Yeah, not bad. Again, the idea of doing one episode, or one chapter per episode, I mean, is just kind of, you know, I know time is a valuable commodity. Not everybody's got 2 hours to sit down and watch a YouTube video. But at the same time, I really don't like the idea of cutting these episodes up and just kind of dissecting the chapter. You know, it's... I don't know. When I watch a video, I suppose I'm doing this in the way that I would like to see them done. You know, one chapter per episode, one episode per day. Nothing too bombarding or anything. I mean, you know, like I said, I kind of went overboard with Red Dead Redemption, but I honestly couldn't think of any other way to do that. And I know that that's a niche video series for people to watch. So, you know, only the people that are really curious about it would probably get anything out of that. And I think those people probably would enjoy the treatment that I gave that series in terms of length. I mean, that's what I would want if I was to watch it. I never did watch a Let's Play of Red Dead Redemption, though, so maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe I did it totally bass-ackwards and should have just done 20-minute episodes and had 60 of them, you know? Like back in the early days of YouTube when you were only allowed to do a 10-minute video. At any rate, though, I will say that I like the idea of the tram being the beginning and the end of the level. I think that's pretty clever. I mean, not only does it serve as a good sort of base camp of sorts, because there's most always a store and a bench by them. There's no bench here, but I believe there was in episode 1. But it explains the backtracking a little bit as well. So, alright, here we go. End of the episode. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. My name has been Winter, and I will see you all back here on episode 3. Everybody take care out there.